Good evening. It's 10 o'clock. I know that it's late, but good news can't wait sometimes. And I promised that when we had this information that we would get it out as quickly as we possibly can. So I'm here to announce good news. I'm here to announce that we have caught the killers. We have caught the killers of one of Escambia County's own. We have caught the killers of LD Clarity. As you recall, on July the 1st, LD and another man were shot. LD succumbed to the injuries from that day. Since then, we have placed a great deal of emphasis on this investigation. We have had every available investigator. We have our entire homicide unit, our entire gun crimes unit, our entire agency. In the back of their mind, they're looking to solve this case. Because this was, as I said before, when this first happened, this is one of our children. And so we left no stone unturned. We did thousands of man-hours of work. We served dozens of search warrants, and we fielded through hundreds of tips. And tonight, I want to announce the arrest of Daquarius Snowden and Amos Snowden. You'll see them on the board right here. They're together. And they're both charged with principal to first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Right now, they're probably walking them over there to the county jail. They were upstairs. We had them, investigators had them up here for a lot of the day. We also, on this picture here, we have a picture of Kobe Jenkins. Kobe Jenkins is not yet in custody. Kobe Jenkins will be charged with first-degree murder. Kobe Jenkins will be also charged with conspiracy to commit murder. Kobe Jenkins already has a warrant for attempted murder. So let me repeat. We arrested Daquarius Snowden. We arrested Amos Snowden, both charged with first-degree principal to murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Kobe Jenkins, we're still looking for. Kobe Jenkins, if you're out there, you need to turn yourself in. We have a murder warrant on you, and we also have an attempted murder warrant on you. Come see us. We'd love to talk to you. I realize that these arrests will not bring LD back, but our hope is that it will bring some peace to LD's mother and to LD's father and to LD's friends to know that the individual that killed LD will be brought to justice and he'll answer to these crimes. I would like to actually call up LD's father, Darian Clarity, and his mother, Tracy Marshall, to come on up here, please. So we can put faces to this family. This case has taken 3 months, but I will tell you that just because it took 3 months doesn't make it any less sweet. All right, I'm going to, if they want to say something, I'm going to allow them to say something, and then I'll let Commissioner Lumen May, who's been a big part of this throughout, have a say as well.
First of all, I want to say thank you, God, to the head of, who's the head of my life. I want to say thank you to the Sheriff Department. Special thank you to the lead detective, Officer Harris. We did this together. As a collective unit, I want to say thank you to Aaron Watson and all our supporters, everybody that's behind us, all the pastors, all the community, all the people that did the right thing. But lastly, I want to say to all you young black men out there, we got to stop this. We got to put an end to this crime. My son, we can't bring my son back, but we can save another life. Y'all need to put down the guns and start trusting in God. And to his killers, justice will be served, as we always said. But I will keep you guys in my prayer. But just understand this: that you must serve your time for taking my son's life.
Ms. Tracy.
I just want to say thank you to the investigative team that worked so hard to find the killers, to find the 3 men who killed my son. Y'all still have work to do, I hear. There's one more person out there. Thank you for the guys who go out and risk their lives to go into these places and bring people out of hiding. I want to say thank you to Chip, Sheriff Chip Simmons, he told me that this would happen. He said it would take time, but he knew that this would happen, and he said his team wouldn't stop. And I just want to let the community know that these guys are working, and we have to put our trust in the sheriff's office, put our trust in these investigators. And when there's things going out in our community, we can't hide. We can't hide out of fear. We have to come forward and say what's going on. That's the only way that we can start saving the lives of our young men and our young women. Thank you, God. A lot of prayer, a lot of tears have been shed during these last 3 months. My son was only coming home to visit the people that he loved. He was coming home to visit his friends and his family, and he was killed. It's unfair. And I just pray that justice will be served. Thank you, Aaron Watson and Kimberly Watson. They didn't know what they could do, but they called and said, we want to do something, and they stepped forward. They didn't just talk, they stepped forward to help us as a family and the community. To the mothers with sons, grab a hold to your son tonight. Squeeze them tight. Squeeze them tight for me, so I can no longer put my arms around my son. He was my only child. He was a gift. He was loaned from God. I know that he's resting better. And now we, his family, we can rest a little bit better because of the work that the men and women of Pensacola, Escambia County Sheriff's Department have done. So God bless y'all. And I pray that y'all can go to your families tonight, put your head on the pillow, and get some rest. Thank y'all.
Commissioner May.
Thank you, Sheriff, and to this family. Our prayers are not ceasing tonight because of this, because our condolences and our prayers will continue to be with you. But let me say to Sheriff Chip Simmons and to the men and women in uniform who dedicated and committed their lives the last 3 months to providing justice, thank you. To our faith-based community, to our civil rights organizations, to our philanthropy, Mr. Watson, and to all those who cared enough. Pensacola is continuing to hurt because of the tragedies of the senseless acts of violence that continues to plague our community. But tonight is an example of cooperation, collaboration, and patience, and a belief in a system that really works if you cooperate. So Sheriff Simmons, we appreciate you and your efforts. We appreciate this community, and we not only know that this family is hurting, but many in our community are hurting tonight because Ladarius Clarity was Pensacola's child. Thank you, Sheriff. God bless.
Thank you, Commissioner. This is a good day. Aaron, can you come up here, please? To those who wonder, how many tips did we get? We got hundreds of tips, but I have to say this. Our investigators went through every one of those tips. There were people out there that were actively fighting against us. And to those who were actively fighting against us, those who had information and chose not to come forward, those who we knew had information and chose not to come forward, and some even fought against us, were stumbling blocks in this thing. Shame on you. I say shame on you. The people that are up here now didn't do that. They came forward and they helped solve this case. Bruce, come up here, please. Yes. We talk a lot about what it takes to investigate a case and what it takes as a community to solve a case. I think Tracy mentioned it pretty well. It takes all of us, and it really did. We talked a lot about how many man-hours it took at the Sheriff's Office to do this. I would like to commend our entire investigative unit. Commander Quinata, Colonel Gilmore, Sergeant Coxwell, Lieutenant Ward, all the investigators in our homicide unit, in our gun crimes unit, but we had one investigator that was assigned specifically to this case. and that's Investigator Bruce Harris. He wore his best jacket here today, and he deserves it because he's done a great job. I probably bugged Bruce, probably third most. I bugged Bruce about this case. We're smiling today because we've had some bad days for 3 months. And as I said before, justice, even justice delayed, is still sweet. It's still sweet. So Bruce, I want to say thank you. You've done a fantastic job. If you want to say something, you're certainly welcome to. If not, we will turn it over for any questions. All right, he's good. See, he's a dogged investigator, and he says what needs to be said. But when he's done, he's done. So, John, what you got?
Hey, Sheriff, the big question here is, can you tell us the motive?
I will tell you that it appears as if they thought they were cowardly attacking someone else. So there's still a lot to work to be done. The investigation will continue probably for months. We're going to work closely with the state attorney's office on the prosecution phase, but I would say that it's very likely that we will have more arrests. We'll probably give you more information tomorrow and then early next week, but we just wanted to make sure that people understood that the killers, the monsters that did this to LD, are now behind bars. Colin?
Can you explain the charge of principal or first-degree murder and what that means specifically in relation to this case?
The best way I can probably describe it is principal means you had something to do with it. There are a number of different charges, and each one of them have a nuance to them. Without getting into too much detail on the charge itself, I will tell you that the two that we arrested already, the Snowden brothers, they're charged with principal. They had involvement in the homicide. The other gentleman is wanted for first-degree murder. He had, at this point, we can determine that he had a greater involvement we can prove that he had a greater involvement in the homicide. So again, without getting into too many details of the case, I can simply tell you that principal to first-degree murder is murder. All right.
Sheriff, what led you to these suspects? Can you tell us without revealing any information about the case?
Probably not, but I can tell you this. What led us to this is thousands of tips, thousands of man-hours, and just a dogged determination on Bruce's part and on the part of the investigative team. Again, we had all these search warrants. I don't think you understand. Every time we stop and talk to somebody, every time we seize a car, we put the car out. We do search warrants on every piece of that car. Every time we have a phone, we do search warrants for the information. We do search warrants at people's houses. We collect, I don't know, dozens of weapons over the course of this investigation. All of that is combined with every piece of witness testimony that we have. We talked to probably hundreds of people. And like I said, we have so many tips. A lot of the information that we have, we get from the tips we already have. And we have to put all of that together. So if you could see, just today alone, when I walked over into our investigative section, I was there and we had a dozen or so investigators, and our supervisors are sending this investigator to do that follow-up, this one to go check on some fingerprints, that one to go check on a witness testimony, this one's transcribing another interview that we had, this one's checking for some surveillance video, this one's going to check and to see if we have any DNA evidence. So all this stuff is taking place just instantaneously, and this happened every day for 3 months. So to say, can I pinpoint exactly what took place? No. But I can tell you it's quality police work. It's a community that refused to say this is acceptable. And it is just by the grace of God, we were able to find out and to bring the people that are responsible for this heinous act to justice.
You expect to make more arrests?
Yes, we absolutely do. We absolutely do. Yes, sir.
We know that the money between Crime Stoppers as well as the Watson firm got up to $40,000. Is there going to be a payout in this case in terms of a Crime Stopper tip? Well,
whenever we make the arrest, when we go back and take a look at some of the tips we have and find out which was the one that actually helped us to get to break the case, if you will. As I just mentioned, we have a number of different investigative breakthroughs, and we will go back and look at that. Mr. Watson, would you like to say anything?
For sure, yeah. Definitely. So, we were able to get together. I think that this case, it not only highlights, quality police work, as the sheriff said, but it highlighted the community's involvement. I can't tell you how many folks, not just in Pensacola, throughout the state, throughout the nation, attorneys, South Florida, California, we would all get together with the family, and say, how can we assist law enforcement? How can we as a community say that we won't tolerate this, And so certainly, to all who are involved in raising the funds, we're going to work with the Sheriff's Department, and we're going to be, it's going to be good with regard to making those payments. We appreciate the folks who came forward and helped law enforcement with the tips. I do want to say this as well. This case highlighted faith, prayer. Can't tell you how many times, between LaDarren and Tracy, that they inspired me and my family and so many others throughout this nation with their faith and their prayer. So, again, thank you, and we're definitely going to work with Crime Stoppers and making sure that happens.
Absolutely. As I mentioned before, there are people that actively fought against us. If I can have Marcel and Larry and Kim, could y'all come up here and come on up here for a second? I want you just to get a glimpse of the support system that the family had, and if the family has a support system, then we have the support system. We know that we're not going it alone. This is just the people that came up here with us to help celebrate today, but what you didn't see is behind the scenes, all of the number of people that were there that were pushing us on. I know I talked to Bruce a lot about it, and Bruce will tell you that there are good days and bad days. Bruce was sick for a while. I don't want to put too much information, but Bruce come back stronger than ever, and he's stronger than ever because of the conversations that he has, and he made this personal. When we were up in my office just a second ago, we talked a lot about how that they lost a family member and they'll never be able to replace him, but we gained a family, and there's going to be a bond here that will never be broken. So, anyone else want to say anything? We good? Marcel?
I just want to say to the Pensacola community that patience is a virtue. And a lot of times we want to get in a hurry to solve something, but we see how patience worked off. And I want to tell the community, revenge is not the answer. Help the police to do their work, and we'll come to a good conclusion like we have tonight. This has been fatal, not only to this family, but to many families in this community, not understanding why our young people are dealing with such crime. But I want to encourage each young person tonight whose heart has been touched by this crime to be patient. Life will change for the good. Don't try to take the law into your own hand, and don't think that violence is a solution or a way out.
Thank you. We have time for 2 more questions. John?
Tell us about the Snowden brothers. What can you say? Are they local? They look like they're no stranger to the jail over here. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
I'll tell you a little bit about them. They're killers. What you got?
I just wanted to clarify when you were speaking to the motive. So the way I interpreted what you said was this was a targeted attack that struck an unintended target.
This was an intentional attack. If you remember, 3 months ago, we talked about I think 50 rounds were fired, or approximately 50 rounds were fired. This is an intentional attack, an intentional attempt to kill. And that's why, John, I didn't want to be short with you, but that's why the only way I can truly describe them is that they're killers. And you talked about the motive, or you asked about the motive, and the motive was they thought they were shooting someone else. It's as simple as that. Yes, last one.
Shooting the other person in the car?
No. They thought that the person in the driver's seat, instead of LD, they thought it was someone else. All right, last question, seriously.
Safe to say this is your favorite day this year?
I say this certainly goes up there with them. I think, again, I think what you're looking at is community involvement. It's a shame that it takes such tragedy, but again, this is what takes place. This is the power. This is the synergy when a sheriff's office in a community, and elected officials and the clergy and good-minded people come together and say, this is not going to be tolerated. This kind of stuff is not right, and we're not going to put up with it. So I want to say to the community, it takes some time to heal. This has shocked our system here in Escambia County. This is Escambia's child, and it's going to take some time to heal. But we're on the mend. We're working on it. And I just want to say to all you up here with us, it is a good day. It is a good day. We've got some hard days ahead of us. We're going to continue to work, and we'll continue to follow up as more things develop, as more arrests are forthcoming in this investigation. So thank you all very much. Thank you.